There comes a moment in your life when you realize no one is coming to save you, no magic spark, no sudden burst of motivation, no perfect timing. If you want a better future, you have to force yourself into progress today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, today. Because every day you hesitate, your future shrinks. And every day you push forward, your future expands. Your destiny is being shaped right now, in this moment, by what you choose to do or what you choose to avoid. Progress is the lifeblood of fulfillment. When you strip everything else away, every title, every achievement, every possession, we are left with one truth. Human beings are built to grow. We are wired to expand. And the moment we stop growing, something inside us begins to shut down. You felt it before. That heaviness, that quiet frustration, that sense that you were meant for more but somehow stuck in the same patterns, the same routines, the same emotional loops. That feeling doesn't come from failure, it comes from stagnation. Failure actually energizes us because at least we're times moving asterisk. Stagnation is what drains your spirit. Progress, even the smallest shift, brings life back into your body. It gives you a spark. Think about the last time you set a goal and actually took one step toward it, just one. Maybe you started a workout routine, made a difficult phone call, launched the first part of a business idea, or simply cleaned a space you've ignored for months. The step was small, but your energy changed immediately. Why? Because progress equals fulfillment. Because at our core, we're not driven by perfection, we're driven by expansion. The human spirit comes alive when it feels itself moving forward. So many people wait for fulfillment to show up after the progress. They say, once I get the promotion, once I lose the weight, once I make this much money, once I find the right person, then I'll feel energized. Then I'll feel confident. But it doesn't work that way. Fulfillment doesn't come from the accomplishment, it comes from the times, journey times, of becoming the kind of person capable of accomplishing it. You got to understand this, the result is never the reward. The reward is who you become on the road to that result. When you feel stuck in life, it's rarely because the world is holding you back. It's because you've stopped demanding progress from yourself. You don't need breakthroughs every day. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. What you need is movement, forward motion, a shift in energy that tells your brain, we're not done. We're still growing. We're still becoming. When you stop growing, your standards drop. You accept less passion, less drive, less excitement, less aliveness. And once your standards fall, your life follows. But the good news is this. Progress works the other way too. One decision to rise, one moment of courage, one action taken when you didn't feel like it. That's all it takes to wake the system back up. That one shift tells your mind we're leveling up again. And instantly your energy rises. Your belief rises. Your identity rises. Every transformation starts with that spark. People underestimate the power of small daily progress because they're so obsessed with massive results. But the giant leaps only happen because you've been taking the smaller steps consistently. You build certainty by following through. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself. You build momentum by stacking small wins until they become undeniable. And here's the truth. You already know what progress looks like for you. You know what habits you've been avoiding. You know what decisions you've been postponing. You know what dreams you put on hold. The answers aren't hidden. They're sitting right in front of you, waiting for you to decide that you're done living on the sidelines of your own potential. Progress requires honesty. It requires saying, I'm not where I want to be yet, but today I'm moving 1 inch closer. That honesty isn't weakness, it's power. It's the starting point for reclaiming your future. Because once you commit to daily progress, even imperfect progress, you take control back from your excuses and hand it to your vision. You've been through seasons of life where you were unstoppable. You've tasted momentum before. You've had moments where everything clicked because you were growing. Don't let those moments be memories. Let them be reminders. If you could create that progress once, you can do it again. You just have to stop waiting for motivation to strike and start demanding progress from yourself right now. The force that shapes your destiny isn't luck, talent, or timing, it's growth. As long as you are growing, your future is expanding. As long as you are growing, your power is rising. As long as you are growing, life will meet you with new opportunities, new breakthroughs, and new levels of fulfillment. So choose progress today. Choose the step instead of the excuse. Choose the inch forward instead of the comfort of staying still. Because the moment you commit to progress, everything in your life begins to shift. Everything. And it starts right now. Most people wait for motivation like it's some magical force that's supposed to sweep in and carry them toward their dreams. They sit around hoping to feel inspired, hoping to feel ready, hoping for the perfect moment when everything lines up and taking action suddenly feels effortless. But life doesn't work that way. Motivation is unreliable. It shows up when it wants to, and it disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. If you live your life waiting for motivation, you're handing your future over to your emotions, and your emotions were never designed to be in charge of your destiny. What creates real momentum isn't motivation. It's action. Action is the spark. Action is the thing that turns a tired, unfocused mind into a determined, unstoppable force. The moment you start moving, no matter how messy, no matter how uncertain, you generate a different energy inside your body. Your brain wakes up, your physiology shifts, your focus sharpens, you start to feel capable, even powerful, simply because you move. That's the secret most people never learn. You don't take action because you're motivated. You become motivated because you took action. Think about the times in your life when you were stuck, when everything felt heavy, when you kept telling yourself you needed to feel ready. Did waiting ever help? Probably not. But I guarantee you can remember moments when you forced yourself to start. Maybe you got up early and went to the gym even though you were tired, or you sat down to work on something you'd been avoiding, or you made a phone call you were afraid to make. And the second you started, something changed. The resistance faded. The energy kicked in. You began to feel different. That wasn't motivation. That was the energy created by action. The mind loves to lie to you. It tells you that you aren't ready, that you need more information, that the timing isn't right, that the path isn't clear enough. But the truth is, clarity comes from movement. Confidence comes from movement. Certainty comes from movement. You can think, plan, dream, and strategize forever, but the moment you physically do something, anything, you shift from being stuck in your head to being alive in your body, and that's when progress begins. The moment you move, your entire nervous system gets the message, we're doing this whether we feel like it or not. That's why you must train yourself to act before you feel ready. You must build the habit of stepping forward, even when your mind whispers excuses. When you make action your default, you rewrite your internal programming. Instead of waiting for motivation, you create it. Instead of being controlled by your emotions, you influence them. Instead of living life reactively, you start living it on your terms. When you understand that your future depends on what you do, not how you feel, everything changes. You stop negotiating with your limitations. You stop letting fear decide for you. You stop assuming you need permission to move forward. You realize that you have more agency, more control, more internal fire than you've been giving yourself credit for. You realize that the spark you've been waiting for comes from within you, not from the outside. Action breaks patterns. Action disrupts fear. Action interrupts doubt. You cannot think your way out of a rut, but you can move your way out of one. You can sit with anxiety all day, or you can take a step that weakens its grip. You can wrestle with uncertainty in your mind for hours, or you can take a small action that brings clarity. You can argue with your excuses, or you can take action so quickly that your excuses don't have time to catch up. Your job isn't to feel motivated every day. Your job is to do what needs to be done and let motivation rise as a byproduct of your commitment. Discipline creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. And motivation, once it appears, becomes fuel, but only if it comes after action, not before. You've had moments when you proved this to yourself, times when you didn't want to do something, but you did it anyway, and afterward you felt incredible. You felt proud. You felt stronger. You felt like someone who could handle whatever came next. That feeling wasn't luck. It was earned. It was created by your willingness to act in the face of resistance. The truth is, the future you want isn't built on inspiration, it's built on decisions. It's built on a pattern of choosing action over hesitation, progress over comfort, discipline over impulse. Every step you take without waiting for motivation is a step toward becoming the version of yourself who follows through no matter what. And once you become that person, nothing can stop you. Start moving, even if the step is small, especially if the step is small. Because once you move, the energy shifts. And once the energy shifts, your life shifts. And it starts with the step you take right now. People think success is built on those big breakthrough moments, the massive decision, the dramatic change, the heroic leap. But the truth is, those moments only happen because of something far less glamorous, the tiny, consistent actions that compound over time. Small daily wins, the kind of wins most people overlook because they seem too simple, too boring, too insignificant to matter. but they matter more than anything. Your life is not shaped by what you do once in a while. It's shaped by what you do every single day. Think about the most successful people you know, or the ones you admire from afar. It's not that they're smarter or luckier or more gifted. It's that they've mastered the art of showing up every day without excuses, without waiting for inspiration. They understand something most people never truly grasp: consistency beats intensity. One small action, repeated consistently, will outwork a burst of effort that only lasts a day. And because those actions compound, they eventually create a transformation that seems sudden from the outside, but was built quietly, gradually, behind the scenes. The problem is, we live in a world obsessed with instant results. Everyone wants the shortcut, the hack, the quick fix. They want to skip the process and jump straight to the reward. But life doesn't reward the person who wants everything now. Life rewards the person who can commit to a small step every day, even when progress feels invisible, even when results aren't showing yet, even when no one is clapping. Because the compounding effect doesn't announce itself. It works quietly until one day it becomes undeniable. Imagine planting a seed. You water it, you give it sunlight, you nurture it, and for a long time, nothing seems to happen. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even months. And most people give up in that invisible stage because they think their effort isn't working. But beneath the surface, roots are growing, foundations are forming. The strength is building where no one can see it yet. And when the breakthrough finally comes, it comes not because of that day, it comes because of every day before it. Your habits work the same way. Your discipline works the same way. Your mindset works the same way. Every small win you stack, waking up a little earlier, choosing the healthier meal, reading 10 minutes a day, making one extra phone call, practicing that skill for 15 minutes, those small wins might feel tiny, but they are rewiring you. They're shaping your identity. They're building the version of you who gets results. The danger comes when people underestimate the power of small actions. They think, it's just one workout I skipped. It's just one day I slacked off. It's just one morning I slept in. But those little misses also compound. Neglect compounds just as powerfully as discipline. The same way small wins build your future, small compromises destroy it. Every small step either takes you closer to the life you want or further into the life you're trying to escape. There is no neutral. What you do daily becomes who you are, and who you are determines what your future becomes. When you commit to small daily wins, you shift your identity from someone who tries to someone who follows through, from someone who hopes to someone who acts, from someone who gets motivated by results to someone who gets motivated by consistency. That's power. That's where your confidence is born, not from giant leaps, but from knowing you can trust yourself to take the next step. The beautiful thing about small wins is that they're accessible. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need a surge of inspiration. You don't need an hour of free time. You just need a decision. One moment, one step. And when you stack enough of those, they begin to change the way you see yourself. Suddenly, you're no longer the person who procrastinates or doubts or delays. You're the person who takes action. You're the person who shows up. You're the person who honors their future with what they do today. We underestimate how quickly life can change when we're consistent. 3 months of small daily wins can create more transformation than 3 years of inconsistent effort. People think they need a major breakthrough to change their lives, but most breakthroughs are actually built long before they happen. They're built in the days when no one is watching, in the moments when you choose progress over comfort, in the quiet decisions that tell your brain we're moving forward. If you want to change your future, start by mastering your days. Don't chase the giant leap. Chase the small win that you can repeat. Because the moment you do, the compound effect begins working in your favor, and your future begins shifting in ways you can't even imagine yet. And it all starts with a small win you commit to today. Discipline is one of the most misunderstood forces in life. People hear the word and they think of restriction, punishment, deprivation. They think discipline means cutting joy out of their lives or forcing themselves into some rigid box where there's no room to breathe. But discipline isn't the enemy. It's the gateway. It's the path to freedom, power, and everything you say you want. Discipline is the ability to take charge of your own mind, your own choices, your own direction. It's the only way to stop living at the mercy of your moods and start living by the standards you set for your future. When you don't have discipline, you become a slave to the moment, whatever feels good, whatever is easy, whatever helps you avoid discomfort. But comfort has never built a meaningful life. Comfort has never created greatness. Comfort has never produced fulfillment. Discipline is what gives you the ability to choose what you want most over what you want now. And when you start consistently choosing what you want most, you rise, you evolve, you become someone you respect. Understand this, every single dream you have requires discipline. Every level of success you're chasing demands responsibility. You cannot build a strong body without discipline. You cannot build a thriving business without discipline. You cannot create emotional strength, financial security, or meaningful relationships without discipline. In every area of life, discipline is the price of admission to the future you want. And the moment you stop seeing it as punishment and start seeing it as power, everything shifts. Discipline isn't about controlling your whole life at once. It's about controlling the next choice, the next action, the next moment. Most people overwhelm themselves thinking they need to transform everything overnight. They tell themselves, I need to change my whole routine. I need to overhaul my whole life. That's a recipe for quitting. Discipline isn't built in giant leaps. It's built in single decisions repeated until they become second nature. It's built the same way a muscle is built, through repetition, resistance, and showing up even when you don't feel like it. And here's the part most people never realize. Discipline gives you more freedom, not less. When you're disciplined with your habits, you gain the freedom to feel strong, to feel confident, to feel capable. When you're disciplined with your finances, you gain the freedom to make choices instead of being trapped by stress. When you're disciplined with your time, you gain the freedom to create a life you enjoy rather than one you're constantly trying to escape. Discipline builds a structure that supports your dreams instead of suffocating them. Without discipline, you live reactively. You let life push you around. Your emotions dictate your day. Your impulses pull you in different directions. And every time you let your impulses win, you weaken your belief in yourself. You start telling yourself stories like, I'm just not consistent, I'm just not disciplined, that's just who I am. Those stories become your identity, and your identity dictates your behavior. But identity can be rewritten, and discipline is the pen you use to rewrite it. Every discipline action you take sends a powerful message to your brain, I can count on myself. You build self-respect not by achieving huge goals, but by following through on small promises. When you say you'll do something and actually do it, even when it's inconvenient, you strengthen the foundation of your character. And the stronger your character becomes, the easier discipline gets. It stops feeling like effort and starts feeling like alignment. Discipline also protects you from your weaker moments. It gives you something stronger to depend on than your feelings. Your feelings change. Your motivation changes. Your circumstances change. But discipline, once you build it, becomes a force you can rely on. It becomes the part of you that shows up even when you're tired, even when you're stressed, even when the excuses start whispering. It becomes the voice inside you that says, I know this is uncomfortable.